Okay.
Oh gosh, this guy. All right, let's see. Go live here.
Intense.
Make sure we can hear everything.
Let me make my notes real quick. No title.
Testing one, two. Testing one, two.
Hang out with me. No title. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to, cause I don't like my side head being at the camera.
I
You
don't
know?
like my side head being at
Don't
the
like it either.
camera. Listen, bro. Whatever works.
She
I'm trying to
like, I'm
figure out
here
why
for you.
my this is supposed to be a clean HDMI.
I'm gonna have to do that later.
You
I
talking to
don't
me?
have, I don't have time right now.
All right.
And I'm talking to myself.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm talking to
Let's see if
Yeah, I'm talking to
YouTube is
myself.
live.
Hmm?
I'm about to say, well, all the hot topics at this point in time.
I know the hot topics.
No, I'm just saying the stuff that's been taking place is
Oh,
technically the hot topics at this point in time in our
what's been
lives.
taking place?
With the whole TikTok being banned and recovered in a period of 24 hours. But then also not just TikTok, but CapCut, which has been really hurting people the most because that's been the major platform that folks have been using to edit their videos since they embraced it. So it was a
Tutu. What up, Tutu?
hmm.
Um, nah, I'm somebody jumped on my live.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, no, no. It's but no.
So the TikTok ban,
Mhm.
we got the TikTok ban. We got the I shot some stuff for a documentary this weekend, which was fire.
Mhm.
What up, Niche? Um, I've got that, and then um, that's pretty much it. Oh, and having reset days, like that's super important. Um, reset days.
I do
We
have a
got
question about, well, I guess something that I processed this week or tried to put together. I had potentially two opportunities, and I was just trying to, in my head, um,
mm-hmm.
one entity asked me first about the particular date, and then another entity hit me up. And to be fair, I was
One.
just like, I needed more information from one side of them that I had yet to get. And so I had to delay sending my proposal over to the other one. The one that I waited
Okay.
for ended up declining what I
Okay.
proposed. And so now I'm hoping that the other one, had the
Okay.
opportunity to wait for me and
Okay.
that hopefully I'll get the other one instead. So I guess my question with that is if you get two dates,
Time my brother was popping.
you get two proposals, how do you determine which one you go after?
If you get two proposals, how do you determine which one to go after?
Well, yeah, if you get two inquiries on the same day, what is your thought process on who
Uh,
actually gets to?
two people that want the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, in a sense, they want coverage. For me,
Two
was
people that want the exact same thing for the exact same amount of money.
no. I won't say it was exact. One of them was for photography, and another one was for video photography and videography.
So why weren't they for the same amount of money?
Time and deliverables.
You got one person that wants these things, and you got another person that wants these things, and you're doing more but for the value of your time and your stuff, it don't average out to the same amount of money per hour or whatever.
Yeah, like one did not want of like video services. One just wanted photography coverage, and one wants photography and videography coverage with a recap video.
Okay. What up, Bree? Mabel, what's good? Me and Abby just on here chilling. I still haven't set up my eCam thing yet, so I'm just on regular live.
It's coming.
Um uh I'll tell you how I handle two opportunities that
Mhm.
I get at the same time.
Mhm.
Um I book both of them
But you, yeah.
and I send somebody else to do the other one.
Mhm.
Does that help?
No, I mean that's something that I process as well. I think I just have to continue to build up my network to have that capacity to do that because it was a thought for sure, but it would have been possible if the other person accepted the amount that I proposed to them. I could have got somebody else to do it, but since they was like, oh,
You, hold on. You don't have to build up your network to be able to like contract somebody to do a job that you're not available to do.
don't you have to know what they're capable of to have at least a standard to send them
No,
out
you
there?
just got to find somebody and find out what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time somebody hit you up and was like, "Yo, Abby, I'm thinking about hiring you." Um, Bree says she love her pauses. That brain be working. I have some pregnant pauses for sure. Um, so when's the last time somebody hit you up and be like, "Yo, um, I," or when is the last time you've done this? Like, you know somebody you want to work with,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not ready to work with them right now, but you just kind of want to let them know ahead of time that you plan on working with them in the future.
Mm-hmm. I had somebody
Yeah,
up
I
like
did
that for
that.
for one of them.
Yeah, so that's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Another way to do it is book it and make it happen. So like hit somebody up and find out if they're available cuz like somebody that you want to work with, they are it feels much better for them to know that you got something right now. You don't always have something right now, but it feels better. So like let me take a few steps back. When somebody's trying to book you for services, you're wearing your sales hat. You know what used to happen at my old job?
What?
So I was a test engineer, so I was testing the product before we sent it out. We had sales engineers whose job was to wine it down the client and make them promises that we couldn't deliver on.
Mm-hmm.
That was their job. Client be like, yo, I want XYZ and I want Beyonce there. They be like, cool, we got it. Then they'll come over to us and be like, yo, we need a way to make this happen. And we be looking at them super crazy. But that's an example of like a corporate setting where there's two separate hats being worn by separate people, and there's a push and shove, a a tug and pull. Like the sales team doesn't know what we're capable of yet, but it's not really good for them to well, it's not good for them to lie to the customer,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also not good for them to always have to pause and like not make the experience smooth for the customer. You know, worst case scenario, if you double book these things on the same day, you might have to make it up to the client. Um, you might have to reschedule or do something. But if these aren't like crazy projects, it's just 1 day projects, then you don't have to wait until you get your network together book both of them and let that force you, let that push you to get your net to find somebody else.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. Um, what's up, everybody? Me and Abby, we're on her live. She's on like YouTube. I think you're in my room too, right, Abby? Yeah, you are.
Okay.
We just talking about stuff. Was that actionable?
It is. It's nerve wracking, but yeah, it is a situation to where it's just like, okay,
Uh,
well, book it, and then the urgency will make you find somebody that is capable, and it is you are a business. So just because
what's
everybody,
what's your disc?
pardon.
What's your disc? What's your disc assessment?
If we go for the other one, I'm ground crew, so I am a supporter in and of a sense.
All I know is DIS and C. You know which one?
All right,
Do
I
you know which
recently
one it
did it.
is?
Let me see if I can find the. I said I don't know if I can find the document. I literally did it. Maybe well, I took somebody's the other day. If I find it, I'll let you know. But I can't remember what the acronyms are, but I know. Okay, what else can you ask me? Because I don't got the answer right now until I find it.
Oh, that's cool. I was just wondering because I was gonna try to explain away why you feel why it's nerve wracking for you. That was nerve wracking for it was nerve wracking for me the first time I booked 3 events on the same weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was nerve wracking, but it was nerve wracking because that's something I hadn't done before. That doesn't mean I can't do it. Um, I wasn't. It made me have to trust people more, which was something that I was less comfortable with back then than I am today. That's just my personal feelings. I can't let the company suffer because of that. Because I don't want to trust someone. I don't think we should hit our financial goals this month because I don't want to trust nobody. For real? Nah, man. You gotta and we think we gotta prepare first. And I'm all about being prepared, but there's certain ways you gotta prepare. So like
Mm-hmm.
being prepared to double book on the same day doesn't mean that you gotta have all the people that you're gonna use in place. You need to have some people in mind. But being prepared is like having everything somebody else needs to be able to execute the job to your standard, having all of those resources available for whoever you hire. So for me, I feel like as long as a person has like a chill attitude and average to above average shooting skills,
Mm-hmm.
they can do anything. Like I can have them do anything. Um, I can just give them some SOPs, have a pre-production meeting with them, get them a little verbal quiz just to make me more comfortable, and then I can check in on them. If it's their first time working with me, I just check in with them throughout the day that they're shooting.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a high
Would that
S.
make you feel better? You're high S.
Mm.
You're high S. You're high S. Yeah. So you're supposed to feel uncomfortable doing stuff like that because there's too much uncertainty and too much opportunity for failure. And you're not afraid of failure. You're just you don't like chaos. You like stability. And it feels chaotic for you to double book. But once you do it once or twice, you're gonna be doing it like clockwork. It's gonna be so easy.
Just
You're
gotta
gonna be
get to
like,
it.
you're gonna have somebody hit you up and be like, man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I got two clients that want me to work with them. I can't be two places at one time. You're gonna be like, girl, hire your cousin. Like, you're not gonna trip. Um, Cool. Is that actionable?
That is actionable, yes.
Let's go. You got any other roadblocks?
That one there, that was the pretty much the only one because I was like, I haven't had that situation happen to me before, and it's just like
Hmm.
now I have to think of my, I don't have to think of myself. I am a company, so it's saying even if we took McDonald's, Ronald McDonald ain't at all the McDonald's flipping burgers because you like the way that he does it, and sometimes it's more about the end product and you know, rather than just having you as the person there for just to look at you for comfort. So it's about the product and not just necessarily.
I would say, Abby, like it's about your growth as an entrepreneur. Because I mean, honestly, how long you had your business? Less than 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like 5 years in, 5 years and some change in. Like I still consider us like a startup. So like
Mhm.
we still gathering data. We still figuring out what works, what don't work. I still have a lot of personal growing to do. Um, so like anything that makes you nervous, I would um I would try to I would try to lean into it a little bit
Mhm.
and do it. So for me, I sometimes I see myself in third person, having trepidation about stuff, and then it's like, all right, Ryan, well, just do it, just do, and like the spontaneity muscle that I've been building very slowly, okay, over the course of my life. Like it's like, all right, just jump in and do it, just do that. Because I don't like stuff being trash. So I want the presentation to be great. I want everything to look good. I want everything. But like what I fail to do sometimes is understand the perspective of the other people
Mhm.
because what I know I'm capable of isn't what other people expect. And what I'm less than capable of is usually more than what other people expect. So I got an opportunity to I had to do this when like I would get opportunities to um, get new clients.
Mhm.
I would want to have the presentation of the proposal, the presentation of the um, contract and invoice, the presentation of all of that stuff. I wanted it to be on point. Even for somebody who was like, "Yes, Ryan, I like that number. I'm ready to buy." I wanted to, but that wasn't good because while they're ready to buy, what do you need to do? You need to get the money
Mhm.
by any means necessary. Hey, do you need me to take that card over the phone? Like, what we doing? That's not the time for me to start beautifying the presentation. I should have done that last weekend. You know, um, just send it. Just send the invoice as soon as possible. You want to impress a client? Be fast. Send
Yeah.
that joint. You know. So that's something that I had to. That's something that I learned. I had a positive experience with that because I had met. I was in Miami, and I had met. What's up, sis? And I had met. Oh, she gone. I had met. I was leaving. I think it was Black Equity Con, and I had met this lady. We were in the Sky Club, and I saw she had on a Black Equity Con shirt. This was several years ago, and I was like, "Oh, you went to Black Equity Con?" She was like, "Yeah, I went." I was like, "Cool." So we started talking. How was it and everything. She's like, everything's all good. And I was like, "Cool." And she asked me what I did, and I told her, and she was like, um, she was telling me like the issues that she was having you
Mhm.
know, pain points. She would tell me the issues that she was having creating content and stuff like that in her business and the videographer that she was working with and what was going on. And because I know that world, I was just kind of like telling her what I know about that, knowing that, she knew what I was talking about. She
Mhm.
was like, "Yeah." And and at the end of the conversation, how many times have you had like a really good conversation with a person who would would possibly make a good client, and then y'all had this hour-long conversation, and then after that conversation's over, you're like, okay, cool. So y'all exchange information, and then y'all get on the phone again next week. How many times has that happened to you?
Not a lot.
Before then, it's happened to me like quite a while. Maybe not like talking for an hour, but I've talked to
Mhm.
people for a good 15, 20 minutes
Mhm.
and not made an offer to them. The
Right.
only offer was, hey, let's get on a call next week, or let's get on a call when I get back, or let's get on a call on this date. So today, I don't know why, but I didn't invite her to get on the call. She invited me to talk next week, and I was like, we kind of talked already. If you want to get onboarded on Monday, we could just we could just do this right now. And guess what she did?
What?
She pulled out her credit card and paid right then at the bar at the Sky Club. I was like, oh, that was nice. I take that back. She pulled out her card to pay right then, but my CRM was messing up on my phone. I
Ooh.
started freaking out. So I had to send it to her, and she ended up paying right after because we were on the same plane too. She ended up
Mhm.
paying right after we got off the plane, but she was ready to pay right then.
Jeez.
She had her card out and everything, and this was um, and it was a 4-figure project.
Mhm. But this goes to speak to when you have your offers dialed in as well.
I mean, to be honest with you, you know how much you cost.
Mhm.
I think you know how much your services cost because you know how much people before have paid for.
Mhm.
And unless you still trying to like find that value, that little place where like that happy place where you're like consistently increasing the price, like you
Mhm.
got a range, you know. And if you don't know, you can't get caught up on giving the perfect price
Right.
because and to define the perfect price, I would say um, trying to give the perfect price, creatives sometimes will overthink, okay, I want to make this amount, but I'm trying to provide a certain amount to where like I want to charge them to where they will pay it, but I
Mhm.
still make what I want to make for it.
Right.
And yeah, and they take 4 days to send an invoice because they thinking about that for 4 days. Well, um, I don't do that. I know how much the stuff costs, so I'm just gonna do it. And if you don't know how much it costs, that's okay too. If you
Mhm.
lose a little bit of money, you ever told somebody something costs this amount and they was like, bet, and they paid it as soon as possible,
You
and
like,
you was like, ooh, could I have made more? That's a thing too. But it's okay. It's still okay.
mhm.
You're still making money. So I don't even know how I got on that. But yeah, get the money.
Get the money.
Get the money.
So, what's up, Z?
Yeah.
I told one of my friends to hop on just so she could see the layout. So help
Um,
other people find other. Your camera just went off too. Um,
yeah. I'll be on YouTube next week. I'll have everything together. And I'm gonna use a real camera. I'm gonna use one of my cameras.
he said, "I'm gonna use a real camera."
um so let's get into some of this other stuff unless you got some more questions.
No, 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 no,
You
no.
good?
You're good. I think even today, so we had a little delay today because I literally just updated all of my phone, my
Mhm.
computer, all this stuff, and did not check my tech, and so whatever system I'm using to connect my camera into the computer was not working, and so I was just like, oh, but I got that together. Well, I got a solution, so it's always good to at least have a workaround. So I'm working my workaround right now until I can get my stable route and connection together. But I'm just happy that I can think through a workaround to make things work, so I can have things working the way that I want. What up, Pete? Pete is a
Cool.
dope designer.
So, what was we talking about? TikTok ban. Um, I was gonna talk about the documentary stuff that we shot yesterday.
Hmm.
That was dope. I think I got a couple insights from that. I don't really know a whole lot about the TikTok ban, except that it went down for almost a day, and then it came back up.
Miraculously.
And, and I think there's some um, political insights into that, which
I don't
I'm
even
not
get into
equipped to
that.
go into.
No, I'm about to say, yep, I feel you on that.
So I don't know. I don't have much to say about the TikTok ban. Do you?
Uh,
Because they're not banned no
no,
more.
because I about to say, well, it's unbanned, and TikTok has not been my main platform because I just never really understood it. I've posted on it. I probably still have things posting on it, but it
You
wasn't my
showing
main.
your age, Abby?
Don't start with me. But it wasn't my main platform. Instagram is my main platform. YouTube is the platform that I prioritize second, and then um, Facebook and LinkedIn are no LinkedIn and then Facebook, to be honest. So that is my hierarchy when it comes to these particular platforms. TikTok, I just put it on there, see what happens. It's more of it's like a why not post or repost or repurpose there. But it wasn't like a oh no, what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
I think people were more
So I
upset
think
about CapCut though, but I wasn't affected
there.
because I live out of the country.
Yeah. So TikTok. I saw some people talk about how TikTok wasn't. I don't know. How people. Some people were talking about how I don't know. I don't know how you complain about another person's complaint, but people was doing it, and they were saying that it was crazy how people were crying and being kind of sad over TikTok and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, for a lot of people, um, TikTok generated some what I would call accidental income for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by accidental income is that you assume that a business owner, you assume that someone that knows how to make money one place can make money any place.
Okay.
But making money is a skill too. And sometimes you trip and fall over an opportunity and you just kind of stick with it, and that's making you a lot of money. So some of these people, they're not making all of that money from TikTok and then investing in other places and then analyzing the content and repurposing that content on other platforms and stuff like that. Nah, they just on TikTok. You feel me? Um, and for some people, I've got friends who started posting content on TikTok and Instagram, and the algorithm on TikTok was way more way more friendly to them.
Correct.
They felt so, and obviously posting online, you want people to see you, but for some of us it's like we want to get views, and then for some of us it's validating to get views and likes.
Mm-hmm.
So for the people who weren't making money but it was validating for
Vanity
them to
metrics,
get
yeah.
those views and likes. Yeah, I don't know. Vanity metrics, I don't know about that term.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know what people use it to mean, but like, I don't know. It sounds a little bit negative. I think that
It can be though, because sometimes it's just like, what are the views doing for you, or is
I
it
mean
just you
that can
just
be
want to see
said
the
of,
numbers?
I mean, who doesn't like a good view? Who don't want to like? I like likes.
I like likes.
Um, yeah, I like likes, but yeah. So like, I understand the people who I understand the people who feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
who might be nervous about because everybody isn't resilient, you know. It's really easy for me to be like, yo, okay, LinkedIn is a gold mine. Go jump on LinkedIn. By the way, um, I've made quite a bit of money this year already from LinkedIn. You might want to go over there.
I'm there.
If you're
I
not
just gotta
already.
position myself. But yeah, if anybody else, if nobody else is
Just
over there, they should.
just like posting content, you got to change it up a little bit though,
Mm-hmm.
because what the people are looking for on LinkedIn, if you're what you might find, what you might be able to do is if you create a piece of content showing someone how to use their one piece of content and make three from it, or
Mm-hmm.
five from it, that will go crazy on LinkedIn
Mm. I'm gonna go answer my door real quick.
because
I'll be right
everybody's
back.
looking for leverage. All right, do you
Hold
think?
that thought. Hold that thought.
Dang, I forgot where I was. Can y'all tell me where I was at? I hit these rabbit holes like nobody's business. Uh, where was I? What was I talking about? What else was on here? Hey, Felicity.
Everything going crazy. Okay, giving people the blueprint on how to do stuff. Well, could
What
go
was?
crazy.
Wait. What was I saying before I like kind of got
You
off on a tangent about LinkedIn?
you were talking
Oh, the
about the.
people on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok
Mm-hmm.
wanting the likes and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah. So like we expect people to um, be whenever I see this a whole lot because I do it sometimes. I just did it on this call. Like you'll hear somebody's problem and then you think about what you would do. And it's like, yeah, but like, what would you do if you were them?
Mm.
That's an important thing to think about if you're gonna judge other people's situation. And by all means, be judgmental. I'm judgmental, but I try to. I think everybody makes judgments. So honestly, should we even really be subscribing to the term judgmental? Like people, like some people are not. Anyway, anyway, that's all I got on TikTok, man.
Well, either
What you
way,
got?
no, it's technically it's back. So all I gotta say about the TikTok ban is that it was a wake up call and a reality check for people to be able to grab their audience's information for when this stuff happens. Because for the people who already had a good number of maybe name, phone number, emails of their followers, they might have been okay to be like, hey, TikTok got shut down, but I'm over here on this platform, or we can communicate here. So I think it was a wake up call for all of us to understand that we don't own these platforms. They can do whatever they want with them. But the people that,
Mm-hmm.
you claim that they follow you, they rock with you, they're your tribe, they're whatever, if you're not speaking to them in other ways and or on
Mm-hmm.
platforms that you kind of control and or own, then you risk, okay, my thing just shut down. You risk the
Keep it going though. You on the road.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
You risk losing them all. And then what you gonna do?
Yeah.
What happens
Yeah.
when they're no longer there, and now you're having to you're faced with the fact that you have to rebuild. So what now?
Yeah, there's no rebuilding happening. By the way, email is undefeated.
I believe that.
It's always gonna be here. It's like the roach, allegedly.
Roach.
Okay. Can I talk about yesterday's shoot?
Okay.
All right, cool. So we had a shoot yesterday.
Mhm.
Me and Carissa went and shot it, and we were doing a kind of like a we were doing an event, but it was a 101st birthday for um for this lady. Her name's Miss Polly. She's so sweet. She's super sweet, and she's 101 years old and she's still sharp. So
Mhm.
like, remember everybody. She, you know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing. Um, we don't really do birthday parties and stuff like that, but if the money's right. um.
He's like,
So anyway, also it was justifiable because it was for a client who they wanted to do a documentary
mhm,
on her life, and so one of the ideas that we had was to be able to use that 101st birthday celebration as an opportunity to interview a bunch of the family members so that we don't have to so we can like knock that part out really quickly. And from from uh, the vision of the documentary that I had was, what if we started the documentary off at the birthday party
mhm.
and then we walked our way back, like we kind of took a trip back in time, you know.
Way back.
So yeah, so the people that we were working with, they hadn't worked with anybody before on video, which can always be a challenge because um, when you work with someone who, and it's a very important question to ask, like,
Mhm.
have you worked with a videographer before? Because if the answer is no, if you ask someone if they've worked with a videographer before and the answer is no, what'll happen is they will you know two things. Number one, you know that your standard of excellence is going to be their bar.
Okay.
So prepare for them to not seem very impressed, okay? Because it's regular to them. It's all you all they know. So they're not gonna feel it. They're not gonna be impressed by you until they work with somebody else. That's very important to know because like you can be doing all these cool things for them and they just be like, oh yeah, that's cool, appreciate it, you know. So don't get in your head. Second thing, second reason that's an important question is because um, if they have not worked with a videographer before, then you you need to over communicate the process to them before, during the shoot, and after. Because when you tell them on Zoom, if you send them a call sheet that's got the details and everything in it, they're not going to read that. And they're going to remember what was important from them from the pre production call. So when you get on set and you start interviewing, um, and you start interviewing people, they might say, "Hey, do you want to like get those people's names over there?" And it's like, "Well, I'm interviewing everybody." So like to keep them, cuz like they're nervous cuz number 1, they ain't spent money on a videographer before. They never used one. So now it's in their head, okay, we pay really good money for this. We need to make sure we got what we need.
Mhm.
Okay? Well, um, at that point, like you're more than a videographer for them. You are, um, you kind of like they person that day. Like you're shooting, but you're also guiding them, making sure that they are confident that what needs to get done is getting done. Because if they ever become if they're not confident,
Mm-hmm.
you could do your job, and at the end of the night, they just kind of feel some kind of way. It's happened before. So anyway, we get to the house. We go in. Decorations are already up, and nobody's really there yet. So Carissa starts capturing the whole room. So first stage of the process is like capturing the room, capturing everything in the room, all the details, stuff we might need, stuff we might not need. We capturing everything, liquor cabinet, all that. Um, so she went in and started doing that. I immediately started setting up the room because we had 8 hours of recording to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, probably 6 hours of recording. So, a rule of thumb for me is however long it's going to take for me to record like interviews, however long we it's going to take us to record interviews, and interview, I probably need um 4 times that time to set it up. So average interviews like 20 to 25 minutes. So let's say 30 minutes. I need It's gonna take me about 2 hours to set up this space
Mm.
the exact way that I want it. So that's what I did. Went in the room. First thing I had to do was kind of decide how or what direction I wanted to shoot in. Personally, I like windows because a really easy way to make something look really expensive is shoot towards a window and be able to see outside of that window.
Mm-hmm.
So, turned out the lights, framed my camera up. They had a nice chair, like I moved it, and then um, after that, I used my decluttering skills. Okay, I took pictures. Then I used my decluttering skills. Not to say that the house was cluttered, but a homey home is a cluttered home on camera. So I started rearranging stuff. I moved the bed. So like the bed was when you come in the room, they had already moved the bed closer to the window
Mm-hmm.
because they were expecting me to film in this little corner. But that would have felt really claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic.
So yeah, so I moved the bed back towards me, and the camera's facing the window
Mm-hmm.
because we want to be able to see out of it. But because it's so bright, I'm shooting with the FX6, so I use my ND filter. For those who are on the live that don't know what an ND filter is, it's like sunglasses for your camera.
Somebody says that
So
your
put the
decluttering
sun.
skills, they love it. They love the fact that you said decluttering skills on my
Oh
YouTube
yeah,
channel.
yeah, yeah. I got mad decluttering skills now. So we put the sunglasses on the camera, and then um, now it makes the room dark, but we can see outside from the camera's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I brought my 600D. So I had really bright light, and I put the softbox on it, and I put the grid on it because at first I didn't really want the light to spill over the rest of the room.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be able to light the subject with it. And one thing that I do if I have someone sitting in and I'm framing up the shot, one thing that I like to do is leave the key light off, which is the main light that's lighting the subject,
Mm-hmm.
and they should be a silhouette with everything else around them.
Mm-hmm.
They should be a silhouette. That's how you know like it's about to be fire because now they're separated from everything else. So turned on the 600D to like 2%. That was bright enough. Um, my settings. So I actually I
I,
wanted to see deeper into. Hmm?
I feel like next week you need to have a presentation to show us these examples.
You think so?
I think you
That
need to
would be
give us
hard.
some screen shares, man. You can just take a couple screen shares of breaking it down.
I got some videos on my phone. I might post them on my stories. So um where was I?
You were talking about how you had it on 2%,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. So I framed up the shot with the chair, and after I got the frame that I wanted, um I like to make sure that my frame is where I want it,
mm-hmm,
because if you go to setting up everything, rearranging everything, decorating everything, and then you get the person sit down, you might realize that you don't even want them to be there no more, and now you got to undo all that you did. So I like to make sure I love the frame, and I just like windows, so I already kind of knew what direction I was gonna go into. So after I got that set up, I just started decluttering and cleaning and like looking at the I did bring a monitor. You know, we
mm-hmm.
talked the other day about me not liking monitors. I did bring a bigger monitor this time because I didn't have time to take the card out, stick it in the computer, stick it back in the camera, get some more shots, move some stuff. I wanted to be able to see it in real time on a bigger screen. So I brought my monitor, and I just started rearranging the space. Um, they had a they had a lamp in the room. Grabbed that immediately. Grabbed the nightstand. I didn't like how the nightstand was looking on the camera, so I grabbed. They had like a throw on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Draped that over the nightstand. Put the lamp on it. Turned it on. Um, they had like these. They had these curtains. They had these curtains that had like orange and silver drape. They like orange and silver drapes. No,
Mm-hmm.
silver drapes. They had orange and silver drapes. This was my first time seeing a window that had two racks on it. Like they had orange drapes and then they had
Oh,
silver drapes.
layered.
And then the silver drapes, you know the holes that you put the pole through?
Yeah.
They took like orange fabric and like weaved it in there. I was like, oh, okay. So
Intentional.
facts. So I took all that out. Like I took the orange out, asked for forgiveness. I wanted a very neutral look, so I just kind of took that out. I took them down at first, but it looked like we was in the hood with the blinds. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to like lift the blinds up, but it was like a paned window, but it
Mm.
didn't have the aesthetic that I wanted. So pulled the blinds back down, put the silver drapes back up, and pulled the orange from out of them. Um, and that was it. And that was it. And then over here they had one of those little ladders that lean up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a corner. I brought that closer to the window. I basically everything in the background, I kind of like try to pull it in and position it to where on frame it looks like it's hugging the person.
Depth and leading lines.
Well, with that stuff, it's just layers of texture. So
Mm-hmm.
like the foreground, midground, and background. To your point, the depth. Um, I just want to make sure that there's layers. So after that, we moved the bed some more. I wanted to light a candle, but I didn't want to be responsible for remembering to blow it out, and I didn't want to burn down their crib. But they did have a candle. It was nice. Um, it would have looked really good, but I just didn't have time for that. And then that was it. Now the interviews themselves, I was recording using three microphones for the interviews.
Okay.
So I put two mics on them. I put a recorder on them, and I put a wireless mic on them.
Mm-hmm.
So the wireless mic was feeding directly into the camera. The recorder was recording to itself. It was a 32-bit float, Tentacle Track E. Um, the the third mic was the onboard camera mic.
Oh, okay.
Where my mic at? Yeah, but that really really good Sony mic. That really good Sony mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was so crispy. Um, so I had that, and that was important too because it was just two of us there shooting, and Carissa was shooting everybody in the front room having a party. I'm in the
Mm.
back doing interviews. So that's important because when you're working by yourself, you need opportunities. You need to be able to have coverage just in case something happened. So, for example, during one of my interviews, the wireless mic died and I had to change it out. But I could finish that interview before I changed it out because we were still getting audio from two other sources.
Mm. We got a comment here. It says, sounds like having a mind of an artist, moves from seeing his vision and rearranging to reveal it. Yes, a visual. They would also like a visual next week. And then they want you to explain the difference between your mics. So the recorder mics and, yes, there's difference between mic and recorder. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. They want a difference between a mic and a recorder.
Yeah,
So
so I would just say, yeah, go ahead.
let me define it. A microphone is a device that captures, it's a, I don't want to get too technical. It's a device that captures your voice and turns it into a digital language or signal.
I think
That's
you are you. I
the,
think you go on high level technical on that one. So I think like the mic is something that you put on the
no,
person
no,
that's
no,
feeding into you. Go
hear
ahead,
me out.
do your thing. Do your thing.
Hear me out. Hear me out. This is important. Definitions are important. So a microphone is just something that turns your voice into a digital signal. So your camera records audio, but if you use like a Rode Wireless Go or if you use a DJI mic, the mic that you have on the person's body, it's just taking their voice, turning it into a signal that can record to your camera. Now, some of those devices have recorders on them. Um, the recorder doesn't send anything to the camera. It just records whatever's being said to it. However, I was using a Tentacle Track E recorder, and those recorders are special because they they have time code. They have time code, and when I record with my cameras, I use time code. Time code's another conversation, but basically, time code allows me to sync up all of the devices that have time code on the same timeline, so that I I don't have to use audio to sync in post. I don't know if that made things more confusing, but simplistically, the difference between a mic and a recorder is that the mic sends the audio to the camera and the recorder does not. That's what you was looking for, Abby.
They said, got it. Thank you.
I had to get it off my chest.
And then that's why I was like, let me just be quiet. Let him do it.
Definitions are important to me.
And
You muted.
mine is like,
You're
okay,
talking.
this is
You
a
muted.
mic. Oh snap.
Abby, you muted.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. I was about to say I was just gonna let you get out your whole explanation because I know that you like to
I
finish
needed
your
to.
thoughts.
I needed
know.
that.
I know.
Yeah.
For
sure.
me, it's like this is a mic and a recorder. So this I can put on a subject and I can have it through the transmitter or receiver. Take that and put it into my camera, plugging it in there
Let me show
directly.
y'all
But
what
then
Abby's talking about.
also, this is the Rode Wireless Go 2. Also, this can record internally, right? So I can have 2-in-1. I can send the signal from here directly into my camera and also have a recording sit on the actual device. So I have two two ways to be able to have these recordings. I think another, like when it comes to like a mic, this also can be just recording individually, but I can also do things to send whatever I get in here into like my camera. But this is not the device that Ryan is talking about that he would put on the client. This is what is this called again? It's a handy recorder, if you will. It's a Zoom
Oh no,
H5.
you taking it real far right now.
I'm just, well, you took it far too, so I want to be there right there with you. So in a
You do your
sense,
thing.
I have three different recording devices. So, well, actually, anyway, so I have this here. If let's just say, for instance, so you want to get all technical, so I got my own process too. If I use the Hollyland Lock M2s, these do not record internally, and sometimes that makes me nervous. So what I'll do is I'll take these Hollylands and I will plug in the transmitter into my H5 Zoom recorder. So I can record on my Zoom recorder here to have a backup recording, and I'll send what I get from here into my camera. Um, and then we have the Rode Wireless Go 2s that I was mentioning, that you can just have it on the subject, feed it into your camera, and it also records locally. So I think we do all of that because audio is so important. Because if you don't have that audio, you're gonna have a really difficult time putting your project together, or trying, like, AI has made things a little bit more, I don't want to say easy, but we at least have ways to recover and restore audio. But for me, I have at least 2 to 3 different audio sources. So if something has feedback, if it sounds terrible, if I just need to like revive something, I have those options. Because I've been in situations to where all was lost and it was not a pretty sight. There you go. I'm done now.
Where was I? I
Before,
forgot.
I apologize, but that was a question I think that we had JS
You
Hill.
ain't sorry.
I am sorry.
ain't sorry.
JS Hill answer. We got people on here watching and wanting to see stuff, so we're gonna answer them.
Yeah.
I'm on here. I'm on your live trying to see if
Make
people
sure-
ask questions.
Make sure they just ask them if everything was clear. So from what I was doing, I just needed 3 sources of audio because I knew if I'm focused on interviewing people and I'm the only one that's shooting interviews, if I don't need to be concerned about audio dying and I forget,
Mm-hmm.
or audio dying and I can't hear nothing in the headphones anymore. I know that I'm getting audio from somewhere else, from 2 other places. Um, and other than that, just going through the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So that process was the hardest thing about that process is um, it can get repetitive. I did 20 interviews yesterday. It can feel a little bit repetitive.
They said, I appreciate you both explaining. Yes, it was clear.
Perfect. Yeah, so that was the documentary thing yesterday. So lessons learned from that. One thing that I learned from that is I didn't see the room before we went and shot in it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue. Let me see if I can pull up one of these shots for y'all. I didn't see any of it before we got there. So like after we got there, I was able to see what I wanted to do and do something with it. And this wasn't something that I learned. I kind of already knew it, which is why I wasn't super pressed about seeing the space beforehand. You do want to see the space beforehand most of the time, but I had 8 hours. I knew I was going to be there 8 hours, and I
Mm-hmm.
had someone else shooting B-roll for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always talk about not working alone. If I didn't have somebody there to shoot with me, like, then I would have been stressed because I would be trying to get interviews and getting the essence of the party at the same time. So that solved one problem that I could have had. And then, so me knowing I got 8 hours to do interviews, I wasn't super concerned about what the space was gonna look like because I knew that we would be able to make it look good for that space at least. Yeah. So that was that. That was the and you got any comments, anything you heard, Abby, that
I
you got?
enjoy hearing your process and how you process things, or even when I have the opportunity to kind of see you in action. It always, of
Mm,
course, gives other ideas, and I know that you're very, in my opinion, you're very meticulous when it comes to stuff. So it helps me become a better, you know, shooter, especially when it comes to like events and stuff like that. So being able to see other creators in action and how they handle stuff is always something that when I have the opportunity to do it, I'm just like, yes, let's do that. Um,
yeah.
and even the when it comes to the advice and the knowledge that comes with, like, if you charge accordingly, then you don't have to shoot by yourself, and you don't have all these unnecessary and unwanted pressures to be able to produce the result that you want. And it's not that
Yeah,
difficult
for
to
sure.
increase your pricing to ensure that you can get the help that you need. So I think once I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, this is great, especially when it comes to events and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, so I think each
You
and
were
every,
one of the first to cut you off.
uh huh,
You were one of the first people. You were one of the first people that, and I don't even know if you did it because I said it, but so I'm not gonna assume that. But I remember we talked about getting a team, and I remember talking to you about like, yo, don't work by yourself. And I don't know. I just gotta say that like you're one of the few people who like started consistently like working with somebody from the time that I met you, and I don't think you weren't doing it that often to the time where you was like to the next time like I talked to you about an event and you was like, yeah, 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 me and Korshawn knocked that out. So that's really dope. That's really important because some people have these blocks and
mm-hmm.
they don't do it, and it's such a lifesaver.
It isn't, but what I think it's you have to start to humble yourself and realize that yes, you know a lot, but you also can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. So one of the things that I realized is that when I pull together other people's expertise and skills, it elevates the experience altogether. Instead of me trying to look good and look like a superhero, it's just like, no, you handle this, or no, you get on your tripod and or you get on your gimbal, whatever, grab this shot for me. But being able to kind of just like duplicate your efforts. And I'm gonna tell you in a second, we got a question, but I'm gonna tell you something my business coach told me this past week. Sorry if this is a
Mm-hmm.
repeat question, but what app or platform are you using to create this awesome recording that we're seeing right now? So I am using Ecamm. I'm using Ecamm to record and to stream live to both YouTube and to Instagram. So if you shoot me a DM, I can send you that particular information. But I pretty much made a layout in a vertical format so I can post it on both of them, and that's what I am using. Okay,
Where'd you
so
make the layout? Where'd you make the layout?
I made the layout on Canva. So I made the layout on Canva, made it the traditional 1080 by 1920, and kind of just had I actually just made the color background and I put the shapes in the area where I wanted it. You can technically build it in Ecamm if you wanted to, but I just didn't feel like it. So the white blocks that you're on that you see behind us, Ryan, I put that in Ecamm. But I added my logo and I added our information such as name so I could like turn off and rearrange things. So you can see I can turn on and off uh, the logos. I can turn on and off uh, whatever else is in the background. So I pretty much knew what my brand colors were and wanted that. Actually, on this one right here, the Abby Teaching FR is baked in. So make it look how you want to, and then you can put the assets on top of whatever you're blocking. Um,
I'm
Okay,
on Canva making mine now.
that's what I'm talking about. I made a whole bunch of layouts, man. I switched through. I made like 3 different ones, so I can switch through. So if I wanted to show like a tutorial and still have us on there, I could do that. If I wanted to do something by myself, if I wanted in squares, I could do that as well. So I made 4 different situations. So if you want to see what those look like, let me know and I'll pull them up.
That's very smart, Abby.
Thank you.
That's very smart. And then what's dope is like if you do, you could create a I can create like a template,
Mhm.
and then basically, and I like how in your situation you have type any questions you want to have in the comments. And so like I would do something like that using ManyChat automations,
Yep.
and just be like, type in. So yeah,
It was for
I'm
that
still
very
in there.
reason I did it. So I'm still utilizing and learning all the stuff that comes with like the mini chat automations, which I love, by the way. And I think if you all are on here, if you type in toolkit, I think I have that automation that's live too. But yeah, I've been learning a ton and putting things into practice uh, as of late.
Probably
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
not like
No, I think it
not,
needs to. These are things that people need to hear more often. I don't. It's almost like doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's not something that people hear a lot, and so I appreciate that. I'm proud of you too, man. You teach me something new every time that I can implement. You don't, and I appreciate the
don't you
fact
make
that you
me
don't.
tear up.
You welcome. You don't sugarcoat
Don't
stuff, which I appreciate that too, because we're in an industry to where a lot of people are trying to keep things on the hush, and so I
you
mean,
make me tear up.
you like we're
Relax.
technically competitors, but at the moment we
Are we?
are. I would say technically
Are we?
our services are similar. I feel like your services, um, you do it more often, so you're way more experienced and you can produce things. I think you can produce things faster because you have the systems in place.
I don't think we're competitors though.
No,
Mm-mm,
okay.
mm-mm.
This one.
Because you have a different you got a different avatar than I do. We don't have the same. We don't have the same person.
Okay. But
I
either
don't
way,
think
I'm happy that when
there's
we do
overlap in who we work with,
yeah,
but
toolkit, one word.
yeah,
TOOLKIT. One word. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, just DM it to me and and that will work. The DM will work if the live doesn't work. Toolkit. TOOLKIT.
I'm making my stuff on Canva right now. Uh, I'm gonna share my screen. Is it gonna mess up your situation
Uh
if I share my
maybe, but
screen?
we'll see. I think it might actually show up differently so we can play around with it. Go ahead.
He's like, actually, actually, yes,
No,
it will
cuz
mess it up.
no,
Go
cuz what I
ahead.
can do is I can add I think I can add your screen as another guest. Hmm. Let's play around with
Oh,
it.
that'd be
Hold up.
crazy. Okay, so
All right.
I'm not
Oh wait, hold up.
traditionally
Um,
trained in graphic design, but
this is going to be
your boy got a decent color palette. So, all right, if you're on my live, y'all almost heard the country come out of me.
Lord.
Um,
Okay, let's see if I can
what
find your camera. Boom, shakalaka.
what do you call this? An overlay or something? Yeah, what overlay do y'all like the best?
All right, hold up. Let me take this
We've
to
got
another screen.
overlay
Boom.
one.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So I got
I'll do it again. We got overlay one, overlay two, and then we're gonna change the color on this one.
put this here. This is y'all getting the real messy stuff right now. Typically, I have all
You
this
know what I
sorted out.
like about my color palette?
What you like about your
Can we
color
talk
palette?
about my color palette for a
Go
second?
ahead, talk about
Um, I got two different reds, and they go together
Okay.
real bad.
Okay, real bad. Boom.
Or This one. One,
What's up,
two, or
Phil?
three, y'all. Let me know.
Okay, show it again.
Okay. Can y'all see my screen?
I'm about to say if you can zoom in a little bit, that'd be helpful or something.
Okay. Let me figure this out real quick. Figure this out. It's just a regular situation. It ain't nothing crazy. Which one you like, Abby?
All right, slow down so I can actually
One,
see
two, or
it.
three?
Go back up to the top. Okay, one.
And we're gonna have like the spaces,
Mhm.
the spaces where we're at. But I probably do wides. I probably do like a wide stack.
Uh huh.
Like
Do you see the layout I'm in right now?
uh, nah, I'm not even seeing anything. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Oh
Well,
yeah, that's cool too.
I like the color one.
You
But
like the gray?
once you put your boxes,
Like
anything that has like a solid color, it automatically kind of just like stands out, and people just like, yo, what's going on this lab? Like I've never seen this before. So
oh, the white probably wouldn't be the
I mean, well, it's going anything's gonna look different because on Instagram you literally just see just boxes. So anything with like a nice little layout is gonna be like, oh, this is different.
so I like blacks.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably do that one. Okay, Felicity says she likes number three. Okay, we got a fourth one. Got a fourth one up here. What do you like out of three and four? Like three, two. Which one you like best so far, Abby?
I like the darker one.
Really like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like that one. It kind of feels three-dimensional. And then we can also do the white.
Now, remember as well, just so you have more flexibility in Ecamm, or if you're standard with that, you're pretty much straight. Um, you can add in your logo later on and be able to move it around if you need to. But also, you could just make the layouts plug and play wherever you like, whatever you like.
Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, oh, that's true. That's true. I know what you're talking
You see
about.
what I'm talking? Yeah, I'm
All
about to say
right.
yeah. Just take the PNG and just throw it in there, but you have the solid layout, and then
Yeah.
you good to go.
Yeah. So we'll save these and yeah. Next week we're gonna have some skins.
Some skins.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I'd be
So
interested to see if we can both. I mean, I think we can both. We should be able to both live stream, but you're in my Zoom, so it'll be just a situation. So we just figure it out. Trial and error
yeah,
until it works.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. So we talked about the TikTok
Oh,
ban. You got
let
it?
me let me tell you what my business coach told me, and it kind of like
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is anyway. Long story short, we were discussing, me wanting to scale and things of that nature of my business. And one of the things that he told me, he says, Abby, you are a strategist. You are not an editor. And what that kind of spoke to me about was that the fact that he said, you have editing skills, but you're not an editor. You are a strategist. So it kind of put me in a space to where it says, do your job, right? You can use your skills, of course, to be able to do things either faster or things of that nature, but your actual position, your actual job is to run your business. So stop doing task oriented things that you can pay somebody else to do and do what you do. In a sense, for me, helping other people realize what they can do with content, being able to go and get more clients, and then letting people like editors do their thing for me. And I had the most draining editing experience this week to where it was just like, I enjoy editing to a certain point, but I was like, I feel like I'm wasting time. I could be doing other things like fixing my automations or, writing an email or something like that. But here I'm stuck here editing, and I don't feel like this was the most productive activity that I could have done to continue to build my business. And so that was kind of like an aha moment I had this week, to be like, things don't have to be perfect, they just kind of need to get done. And so it was me shifting to say, do your job and stop just trying to either A, cut corners, or think that you're the only person that can do this particular thing in your work. So that was a aha for me this week. What's up, Korshawn?
Okay. I got questions.
Yes, sir.
What's the biggest thing? What's the thing in your business? Um, what's the thing in your business? The one thing, the one problem that is so big that the other problems kind of don't matter until it gets fixed. In
Um,
terms of in terms of moving you towards um, whatever your goal is this year in your
I
business.
think in particular, it's me having essentially like a core offer that I can be like, this is exactly what I do, so I can know exactly who I go after.
A core offer? You having a core offer?
I believe and I technically have one, but even when you mentioned earlier, you having that conversation with the person in the airport and them being able to pay you for your services, they knew exactly what they were paying for, or at least had an idea of what they were paying for. So it's me having that and being able to direct my messaging to be able to give that. I'm gonna test something out really quick. I do have 20 minutes left, but I'm gonna see if Korshawn what this will look like if Korshawn just came in.
Okay, but I got more questions.
I'm listening.
Do you want me to wait till he comes
No,
in,
you're
or
good. He'll answer when he comes in.
you said the biggest thing is you creating a core offer?
I feel like if I was more comfortable with exactly what I offer to people, that I'd feel more confident in building up everything else in terms of messaging, in terms of being able to possibly even run ads and things of that nature, directing people towards something and not just what ideally I can do. So it's me
Okay.
turning from my skills based
Hmm.
down to getting into my quote unquote strategy bag to ensure that I'm doing the things that I can do the way that I want to do them.
So my question to you would be, how much time did you spend last week working on your core offer? Before you answer that question,
Mm-hmm.
had you thought about the fact that that's your biggest blocker?
No, no, no. I hadn't.
Okay, cool. Cool. So don't worry about that other question I asked then.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So that's what you should work on until you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Let everything else burn. I mean, to define let it burn.
Let it burn.
Obviously if you got a commitment that you need to keep, we're not letting
He
that
said
burn. But
bonfire.
outside of that stuff though, like if that's the biggest blocker, don't spend time on nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make content. Don't just keep commitments and work on that until you get it. There's this book I went and got off my shelf when you said you're trying to find a core offer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's two books. One I think you already have. It's
I have
called
that one.
Expert Secrets. You got this one too?
$1 Million Weekend. I have that, and then Expert Secrets. Let's see.
So Expert Secrets, I forgot what chapter, but it'll help you develop. But it kind of teaches you to sell one to many. But I think the takeaway from that book, a good takeaway from that book for you is, um, I think that your confidence in what you are a master of,
Mm-hmm.
or like your understanding of specifically what you're a master of, I think that might be a thing for you. But this $1 million weekend is really good because the best way to find out if you got a good court offer. One way to find out if you got a good court offer is if people buy it. And then $100 million offers by Alex Hermosi,
I
and
have
he's
that as
got
well.
a course.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing to do is just spend the next every day just working on your offer.
Mm-hmm.
How's that sound?
Yeah.
Exhilarating?
I mean, that's what I was processing that whole situation with my business coach this past week. We ran through a couple
Yeah,
things, and that is, let's just say, it is on
yeah. I
literally
recommend do
my
that because
whiteboard.
I recommend do that because that'll be good. Good. That'll be good. I'm happy for you, Abby.
Oh well, thank you, Ryan. I
For
appreciate that.
sure.
I'm about to say
Okay.
I don't know
How
about
much
the.
time you got left? We
I got
about to
about 15
bounce.
minutes, but oh, there he goes. Okay, hold up. Hey, you slid in here.
Rashawn,
I didn't
what's
even.
up, bruh?
Man, what's going on, man? Always
Oh,
good to see
boy.
y'all.
Boy got the late night DJ voice on.
He always.
Oh
What's
man,
going on, man? You
Recording
said
in progress.
it's
What's
just
happening?
it's
What's up,
me.
bro?
man, what's up, man?
He
What's
said,
up,
"Welcome to
Nothing much, brother.
the
Nothing much.
quiet
Good to see you,
storm."
man.
man? Likewise, likewise,
They go to
Good
here
to
go the
see
deep
you.
voice that's finna scare everybody. What's going on, everybody?
man.
My name is
Yeah, turn your mic down, dog.
my name is Korshawn Boy,
Enjoy
and I'm
this
in the
high.
house. Don't you
Man,
forget
what's going on, everybody?
it.
Oh my goodness.
He said, and don't you forget it. It's just me. No,
Yeah,
I
this
just
is
wanted
just the
to.
gear,
I wanted to see what was up, so I'm playing around with some different layouts. So y'all will see what's going on. Ryan doesn't like Ecamm. Both of y'all know that I'm
No,
a
it's
lover of
it's
Ecamm.
straight. It's straight. It's straight. It's decent.
But
what's your preference? If it's not Ecamm, what you prefer to rock with?
Mm,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
have a way to take your so I have to turn it up when Abby's talking and turn it down when you're talking.
mm,
I don't have a way to manage that. Are you able to turn down your mic a little bit?
yeah, yeah.
I'm about to say I don't have
How's that?
individual
Is
controls.
that better?
Nah, you still way up over Abby.
Hold on a second. What about that?
That's better. That's better.
Okay. Boom. Yep.
Fantastic.
And then I just turn up my headphones in my ear. Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, good.
Oh well, I think time is up, Abby.
Yeah,
Almost up.
the pretty. But I just want to see how this. So I definitely okay. So Ecamm integrated with Zoom, right? So you can run a normal Zoom call, and what I want us to play around with as well, right, is we can essentially have different Zoom links, and if people want to hop into the Zoom and ask questions, like they don't have to be on the actual like screen, but they can also be typing in. So that's like even I wanted to see. I don't know how many people can come into the Zoom call, but either way, there's specific
Mhm.
controls to be able to put people on screen, but everybody else can kind of
Mhm.
just be listening in the background and asking questions in the chat. And I think that's a dope way as well to kind of get people involved to ask certain questions or to be able to get questions answered when it comes to like, tech stuff or whatever the heck we be talking about.
Liddy. Liddy. Well,
So this was just a test. Yeah, I have to go, and I've been telling people lately.
Alright.
I was like, I have to go because I have to go to my Zumba class. Then I have another class later on
Okay.
tonight. Always a
all right,
pleasure hollering at y'all.
do your thing. Same time next week. We'll see you.
I'll holla.